We live in a beautiful world, and the miracle of life is one of the most beautiful and rare things this world has to offer. What can be better than this? What about having 3 of these beautiful and rare things? Well, for some people, even having 1 baby is too much. But just being alive is a blessing enough, even if your parents don't seem to think so. And that's exactly what happened with the triplets in our story, who were abandoned and separated at birth. But what happened when they all met 18 years later shocked everyone. Bobby, Eddie, and David were born in New York and immediately put up for adoption because their real parents decided they couldn't take care of the babies, as they wouldn't be able to properly take care of triplets. Put up for adoption, the adoption center decided to split them up because no one wanted to adopt 3 kids. After being split up and adopted by 3 different families, not much happened until 18 years later. In 1980, 19-year-old Bobby was taking his first steps onto his college campus. He hoped to make friends at SUNY Sullivan, the local community college in the area, quickly, but not as quickly as he did that day. Everyone on campus smiled and waved at him, as if they already knew him, calling him someone else's name, Eddie. Bobby soon learned that he was being mistaken for someone by the name of Eddie Galland, who everyone said was almost a perfect copy of Bobby. Supposedly, they were each a dead ringer for the other, and so Bobby decided to see for himself. On the day Bobby and Eddie decided to meet, to make the reveal more dramatic, they decided to wear matching clothes and without telling anyone who was who. Standing in front of Eddie's dorm, with only a door separating them, the two had never seen each other before, but they were told by their campus friends, "You have a twin." Whether their friends were being literal or not, the 2 19-year-olds would find out with a swing of the door. And when the door opened, what they saw changed their world forever. It came as a shock for both of them. Rather than being another person, it was like a mirror was standing in front of them. This would be the start of Bobby and Eddie's time in the spotlight, but sadly, they weren't able to see the twists and turns that lay around the corner. Bobby and Eddie were identical twins. Since each knew he was adopted, they drew the conclusion that they were long-lost brothers. Their picture was shared in newspapers, which reached all the way to the mother of another 19-year-old, Ms. Kelman, who saw her adoptive son David's likeness in the boys. She shared the astounding photograph of Bobby and Eddie with him. After contacting them, David reunited with his long-lost brothers. The news of triplets spread like wildfire, with Bobby, Eddie, and David gaining fame because of their incredible story. Bobby, Eddie, and David took the world of pop culture by storm, appearing as a guest on talk shows like The Phil Donahue Show, and even making a cameo appearance alongside Madonna in one of her films. The world was shocked with how similar they were, and not just in looks. The triplets grew up in drastically different environments, each living with a family from a different economic class, blue-collar, middle-class, and wealthy, even with never seeing each other before then. Their mannerisms, personalities, even down to what they liked, including their taste in women, were very similar. The triplets enjoyed a great relationship as siblings. They even moved into an apartment together and opened the now famous Soho steakhouse Triplets. Their success came at a price though. With all the success they've been having, they struggled to trust each other, questioning why they were separated in the first place. Everywhere they went, people would try to take advantage of them for a profit. Eventually, all this started to get to the point where the brothers were struggling with mental health. The bond between Bobby, Eddie, and David began to suffer as time went on. The trio's decline began in 1995. Around that time, the adoptive parents of the 3 were finding the truth behind Bobby, Eddie, and David's adoption. And as they struggled with all these emotions, one of the brothers, Eddie, took his own life. While all this was going on, and the family was grieving the loss of Eddie, a journalist, Lawrence Wright, published an article that revealed the disturbing truth of why the triplets were separated, and how it has happened to others. Lawrence Wright's article discovered that the researchers involved wanted to learn more about the concept of nature versus nurture, which is a big debate when talking about children and where they come from. The triplets' future was sacrificed to find an answer. Throughout the boys' childhood, a physician would often come to observe them. The adoptive parents were led to believe that the visits were merely to track the adoptive children's progress. After reading the article that Lawrence Wright had shared with the world, Bobby and David were beyond furious. They felt used. Even with happy families of their own, there was still a hole in their hearts from all the pain they endured. And finally, after making a movie telling their story, the brothers finally started to find some peace. So friends, let us know what you think about the story of 3 brothers who were watched their entire lives and slowly learned to find peace. And with that, thanks for watching. Later.